Some say you should always avoid talking about politics and religion. But if you fastidiously avoid these bigger topics, you may find that your conversations are limited to the dull and the mundane. As a gentleman, you should not be scared of any topics of discussion. You should just learn how to handle them with dignity and respect. With the US election fast approaching, you are likely to find yourself in conversations about politics over the coming weeks. So use the advice in this video to handle yourself like a gentleman during these discussions. Hello, my name is James, and I'm on a mission to create a generation of gentlemen. If you want to be a part of a respectful community where gentlemanly values are celebrated, you can join the Gent Z community today. For today's video, I want to give a huge thank you to the Gentleman's Gazette who helped film and create this video with me. I really couldn't have done this video without them and the acting skills of Raphael and Jack. Before we go on to the do's and don'ts, it's important to establish the correct mindset for debating. If you believe that the world is black and white, and that everyone who disagrees with you is just stupid, you will never be able to debate like a gentleman. I enjoy friendships with men who have very different political and religious views to me because I always keep this in mind. Everyone believes what they believe because they genuinely think that that is what's best for the world. And what they believe is best for the world has been shaped by their unique combination of genetics, upbringing, experiences, and much more. For that reason, there is nobody in the entire world with whom you will see completely eye to eye on every single subject. Everyone has a unique tapestry of views. So with that being said, let's take a look at some do's of good debating. A gentleman allows others to speak and shows that he is engaged and interested as a listener. It is simply rude to cut someone off in conversation. And when discussing in-depth topics like politics and religion, it's especially important that you give others time to make their points. These topics can be incredibly nuanced, and you need the patience to allow others time to explain their perspective fully. If you want to engage in a respectful debate, everyone must have their fair share of time to speak. If you don't want to listen to what they have to say, are you really looking for a conversation, or are you just looking for a place to rant? When you've finished sharing your opinion, invite others to share their opinion or comment on what you just said. This shows that you care about having a genuine two-way conversation. Listen to their responses with the same level of concentration and interest as they showed you. And make sure you allow what they say to be absorbed into your mind. Don't just plan and think about what you're going to say next. During a debate, you may find that you have an overall different or even completely opposing point of view to another person. However, it's likely they will at least say something that you agree with. It is not a sign of weakness to say that they have made a good point and that you agree with them in that respect. On the other hand, it is completely weak and immature to refuse to concede that your opponent has made any good points at all. When you do share agreement or make some small concessions, you show them that you are open-minded and worth having a discussion with. Because nobody wants to feel like they're talking to a brick wall. So with that said, let's get into some don'ts of arguing like a gentleman. First, let's talk about body language to avoid. Assuming you are seated during the discussion, never stand up to make a point. This is a very aggressive behavior, and it will make others feel uncomfortable because it shows that you are losing control. Although you might see it as an assertion of physical dominance, it only proves that your verbal arguments are so weak that you must overcompensate. With the wrong group of people, this could escalate the debate into a full-blown argument and even a physical fight. In many ways, shouting or raising your voice is the equivalent to standing up or getting aggressive. If you have to raise your voice to make yourself heard, you've already lost the attention and respect of the group. Shouting will only make this worse. Instead, you should maintain a relaxed, even tone of voice throughout the discussion. Wait until there is a natural pause in the conversation to speak, or wait until someone invites you to share your opinion again. While using hand gestures as you speak is perfectly fine and normal, there are certain gestures that border on the aggressive. One of these is pointing your finger, especially at a particular person. This gesture is very accusatory and will cause the person on the receiving end to feel like they are being singled out or attacked. Your hand gestures should be open and relaxed, and never directed at a particular person, even if you're speaking one-on-one. Aggressive body language is not the only way you can ruin an otherwise polite conversation. It is equally rude to look bored or disinterested when someone else is speaking. Everyone should be shown the same levels of courtesy when sharing their thoughts. If you look away, fold your arms, shake your head or roll your eyes, you are discrediting their argument. Even if someone says something you find objectionable, maintain neutral body language and eye contact. When constructing your argument during a debate with friends, don't rely on statistics. In conversation, nobody knows whether your statistics are true or not. There is no moderator to fact check. And if you start arguing about what is and what isn't true, the conversation will descend into a shambles. Never make up statistics or recall figures that you can't attribute to a specific, well-known source, because it turns out that 44.6% of statistics are just made up on the spot. Instead of arguing over factual information, a good debate should be an exchange of ideas and thoughts. Use phrases like "I think" or "I imagine," rather than insisting that your beliefs are the hard, cold truth. No matter how tough a debate gets, a gentleman remains in the group and would never walk out in anger. Your emotions should remain cool and collected, no matter what anyone says. To walk out of the room shows that you can't handle your feelings and have this conversation like a man. It is only reasonable to walk out if somebody is getting violent or aggressive, if they are drunk, or if they have said something very personally offensive to you. While you might enjoy a good debate about politics or religion, there are many people who would always rather avoid talking about such topics. For that reason, never try to involve others outside of your group in these kinds of discussions. Don't call on someone from a different table or further down the bar as backup for your opinions. Don't bring in others to weigh in on the debate or settle the argument. Although this kind of thing can be friendly behavior at other times, contentious topics are always best contained to your group. When talking about politics or religion, there's always a risk that you will say something that someone finds offensive. Don't increase that risk by getting drunk and losing your inhibitions. As a gentleman, you should always watch your alcohol intake, but it especially applies here. Think of a good debate like a rugby match. The two sides spend 80 minutes beating the living daylights out of each other, but when the whistle blows, they shake hands and show what good sportsmen they are. No matter how much you have disagreed with others during the debate, you should always end it on friendly terms. Tell them, "I enjoyed discussing this with you," or "Even though we don't see eye to eye, that was a good debate," and shake hands. For the remainder of the conversation, you might want to focus on less contentious topics. Perhaps talk about something that you have in common, so you can re-establish your friendship. Gentlemen, let me know in the comments, are you the type of man who enjoys debating politics and religion? Or do you prefer to avoid these topics for the sake of your friendships and family relations? Although the steps in this video will help you argue like a gentleman, we cannot control how others behave. And there are many people out there with whom I would not enjoy having a debate because they haven't learned how to do it maturely and intelligently. If you are looking for a space where you can engage in intelligent, gentlemanly conversation, I highly encourage you to join the Gent Z community. And I just want to read you a couple of reviews from current members to give you a better sense of why you might like to join. Jeffrey, who is one of our most active members, said this: "The Gent Z community is akin to a private gentleman's club where members can escape an increasingly lowbrow and irksome culture to relax in the company of like-minded individuals who freely exchange their thoughts and ideas on how to be better men." Another member, Tudor, said this: What I like most about this space is that I can talk freely with other men, whether they are older, younger, or the same age as me, about multiple subjects, and that we share our honest opinions and advice. The weekly cocktail hour is a great thing for those who cannot make it to the real-life meetups, for various reasons. And it is special for me since I'm able to talk with one of the people whom has influenced me a lot so far. So, you will find a link to join this community right down there in the description. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you on the next one.